Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions for match day 3 of the Champions League. And let me just say, move over Bayern Munich because there are new kings of Europe after what we saw in match day 2. I think you know what I'm talking about. I think we know we'll get to that later on. There are Shut up. There are timestamps down boy. There are timestamps down in the description. But as always, never use them. Watch the whole darn video. There's affiliate links down in the description for Amazon and Audible. Use them. They're very useful for you and for us.
There's one for Amazon Music. We're offering a free 3-month subscription to Amazon Music. Take that, it's free.
Even better. Go and check out Grandstand Bettors. They're a superb tipster website. We work very closely with them. If you want to like sports betting and you want to win money, head over to Grandstand Bettors. Their details are down in the comments. That is it. There's no more grandstanding, no more hot dogging. We've got a ton of games to get through. Thomas, hit me with the first match.
Lokomotiv Moscow versus Atletico Madrid.
Lokomotiv Moscow put in a better effort than most people thought against Bayern Munich, but they did eventually lose 2-1, which puts them on 1 draw and 1 loss after 2 games. And we didn't expect them to get out of the group. But if they are going to, they need to kind of get at least a win and a draw, you would think, from these games against Atletico. But are they going to?
Probably not. Atletico managed to... They won 3-2 in Salzburg, and they did it very much the hard way. They were down 2-1 at one point. They ended up winning 3-2. They do not look as strong as they normally do. It seems like it's becoming harder and harder for Diego Simeone to play his anti-football style and get away with it. But I think they're going to be too strong for the train from Moscow.
That's what you're saying then. Go on. Okay.
You know what? Let's do it again. 3-2 Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, I just have a feeling it'll be tighter than that, but I do think Moscow will lose again at home. Same score, so lost to Bayern Munich. 2-1 to Atletico Madrid. FC Red Bull Salzburg versus Bayern Munich.
So, FC Red Bull Salzburg gave a really good account of themselves. They were actually beating Atletico Madrid 2-1, ended up losing 3-2. They got a draw and a loss at this point. I think, to me, they look like the 3rd best team in the group. All right, not a whole lot left. Ian, I think it's always best to not let me talk about Bayern Munich because it'll go on for too long.
Yeah, I will just say that, if Salzburg, they had any chance, they're 2-1 up against Atletico Madrid. It's almost criminal to let that slip and lose 3-2. Really kind of scuffers any hope, really, you would think, of them going out of this group now, for sure. Because they've got to play back-to-back against Bayern. They're probably going to lose both games. Bayern worked great against Lokomotiv. We already talked about it. But they won. They always win. Kimmich was the 79th minute winner. So that whenever they seem to find a goal, it's not always Lewandowski that has to score the goals for them. It can be from a litany of sources.
It's unbelievable.
Unfortunately, Davis is out injured, though. That's going to be a loss for them the season. Yeah, it's a shame. But I do think, obviously, we're both going for a Bayern win. I'll just get mine out of the way. I think Bayern will win 3-1.
I think it's going to be 3-0. Shakhtar Donetsk versus Borussia Mönchengladbach.
This one should be really interesting. Gladbach started with 2 draws, looked pretty solid, but they haven't been beaten yet. Shakhtar Donetsk, the surprise package of the group, with 1 win and a draw, followed up that fantastic win over Real Madrid with a very solid 0-0 draw against Inter, which puts them in 1st place in the group. And I'm sure most people will be surprised about that. But do you think they can carry that on, or do you think
absolutely not?
Nope.
If anything, this Mönchengladbach side love a draw. They love mediocrity, but I think they're gonna beat this Donetsk side. Their 0-0 draw with Inter, I think, brought them back down to earth. I've got Mönchengladbach to win this game. 3-1.
Do you think Gladbach can be brought back to earth a little bit? They were two Thuram goals up to 0 and let it slip against Real. Do you not think they're the ones kind of needing to...
I think they'll have played their weekend fixture in Germany and they'll come into this one. And I don't know. I really like their forward line. I really like this Mönchengladbach side. And I think Shakhtar Donetsk have overperformed to this point and Mönchengladbach have underperformed. So I can see them trying to get a win here.
Well, Tom, you've won me over. And I'm a sucker for Ukrainian football. 2-1 Shakhtar.
Real Madrid versus Inter Milan.
But this one is obviously one of the ties of the round. 2 excellent sides, but Real Madrid have really put themselves up against it after the first 2 matches with a draw and a loss, and really had to scramble that loss back against Gladbach. But they did. They're probably quite glad that Gladbach and Inter have both kind of just drawn games, so they're not too far behind. because they could have two sides on 6 points and be really.
And I'm dispensing with all the normal hot dogging here. Inter Milan are going to beat this Real Madrid side. Real Madrid are like imploding at the seams in Europe right now. Zidane's getting fired at Christmas. Conte's team are storming Madrid. They're sacking the whole city. Inter Milan to win 1-0.
No, I don't think so. I haven't been that impressed with Inter Milan so far in this Champions League.
And you've been impressed by Real then?
I haven't, but Real Madrid have got the pedigree chums, and I think Real will finally get the first win. It won't be pretty. I think they'll win 2-1.
Porto versus Marseille. Yeah, that's right. I'm saying all the names now. Deal with that.
That's fine. So Porto are in second place in the group after 2 games. Marseille have lost both games, lost quite heavily to City. Porto with a pretty comfortable win over Olympiacos. I'm thinking home win. What are you thinking?
I am also thinking home win. I think Marseille are a dumpster fire this season. I think Porto will win at home 2-0.
Yeah, they do look one of the weaker sides, I must admit. I'm going to go along with that, actually. I think there'll be a 2-0 Porto win. The pride of Manchester City, versus the pride of, I want to say, Greece? Olympiacos.
So Man City had a pretty easy win, 3-0 at Marseille. They did make it harder work for themselves, but that's what Man City always do at all times. Olympiacos lost 2-0 to Porto. Olympiacos third in the group right now, City first in the group. They seem to pretty much have qualification from the group stage down now at City, even when it's ugly. So I think they're going to win. What do you think, Ian?
Well, as these predictions don't count for anything, we don't like compete in them at all. I'm going to appease our Olympiacos fans out there and say that they love playing English sides. They're up for the battle. They proved that last year. They're going to get something at the Etihad. It's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Remind me who they got that result against?
I think it was Wolves.
Yeah, okay. Sure. City to win, 3-0. Atalanta United versus Liverpool.
We've moved a long way away from calling them the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah!
Atlanta United. I really want this to be a good game, but Liverpool are not playing good football at the moment, and they could ruin it for us, Thomas.
Oh, I think they're going to get freaking smashed in this
Really?
game. I think it's going to be like a train wreck. Like,
Really?
yeah, Atlanta are going to take some hits, but they're going to score 4 goals.
But why? You got to tell me why. You can't just say that.
Because I think Atalanta are probably one of the best attacking sides in Europe. I think they've proven that as well by being in a country like Italy that is traditionally more defensive and sets their team, like a lot of their teams up to defend. And Atalanta are averaging like 4 goals a game over the last year and a half. On top of that, Liverpool have lost Fabinho and Van Dijk, and no other way you spin this, the team is not as strong defensively as they were before, and their attacking style of play and that insanely high press is going to come undone against an Atalanta side that just pivot and attack, pivot and attack, pivot and attack. And then not only do they build attacks, they counter really quickly as well, and they have 3 players up front that can all score goals.
Look at him. He's got all the knowledge to back up the scores. He proud of you, Thomas. What did you say the score again?
4-2 Atalanta.
Wow, that's going to be amazing. Yeah, I mean, obviously, those injury problems to Liverpool are well documented, and it should be. I really just hope this is a really good game. I'm going to back Liverpool. It's just I don't know.
That's the smart decision.
I just think Atalanta is still a little bit too naive, and I think Liverpool will win. I think they'll win 2-1.
FC Midtjylland versus Ajax. I'll just leave now.
Yeah, I think you've literally done all the good work you did analysing the last game with that. FC Midtjylland, they lost 2-0 to Liverpool. They probably did a lot better than most people thought. Most people probably thought they would have got absolutely hided at Anfield, but they didn't. But they still lost. They still are the weakest side in this group. Ajax let a 2-goal lead slip against Atalanta, Tom, and that again is almost pretty criminal, you would say, for their hopes of getting out of this group.
Ajax do not look that good this year. In
13-0.
Yeah. In Holland, everything I've seen of them in Europe this year, it's like this team has it's just constantly being picked apart by European sides.
Because I don't know, in the 2 games, I think they've obviously they gave Liverpool a good game. Were unlucky with a dodgy own goal, and at the end of the day, I know they lost they were 2-0 up and blew it, but they did get 2-0 up against that.
I'm not saying that they're not a good side. I'm saying that the side they were 2 years ago that we remember that in our heads is this base of like Ajax is completely gone, and they're literally just every year losing their best players. Also,
because if you look back 2 years, I mean, Man United are not the beautiful flower they were under Mourinho.
Yes.
Yeah. Ajax will win this one though. They need to get a win here, and I think they will. I think Ajax will win 3-0.
I think Ajax are going to win 1-0, and I did say Midtjylland correctly. Just throwing that out there.
Sevilla versus FK Krasnodar.
Look, Ian has claimed FK Krasnodar, and we all know I bloody hate this Sevilla side, so I'm just going to let Ian talk and then give the score.
Yeah, obviously Krasnodar, in the end, they got absolutely thrashed by Chelsea. And I actually got to say, I've been getting it wrong all this time. I've been calling them Cuban Krasnodar, and they're not. FC Krasnodar, and they're a completely different side. This is their first time in the Champions League. And, so for them to have these like marquee games is absolutely fantastic. And I actually think they're a really good club and an interesting club to look at. I should have looked up the name of their chairman, but I didn't, because that's how great I am.
Sacked!
But he's the sort of chairman that everybody would like. He's a self-made millionaire through supermarket chains in Russia.
Simon Jordan.
He loves football. He loves Krasnodar, and he has built this side up from the ground up and invested money in infrastructure and training grounds and medical facilities to make it a proper side and not just thrown money away on players like Hulk and Zlatan. So although they are minnows, I just wanted to say that they got the sort of side and the sort of chairman that everybody in football wishes that they had. But up against Sevilla, they're just going to get undone by too savvy a side, aren't they? And they're going to lose 2-1.
They'll lose 1-0. Sevilla are just going to Sevilla them.
They nearly Sevilla'd themselves this time against Rennes.
It got really close, didn't they? Well, that's the problem when you have no interest in actually playing a game of football. Sometimes you hurt yourself. Chelsea versus Rennes.
Nice, easy win in Russia in the end. They ended up running 4-0 winners with some, they got the goals late, but they dominated the game really. So it's them and Sevilla that look easily the sides that are going to qualify out of this group. They've got 2 games against Rennes now. I don't think they'll be easy games, because I do think Rennes are a pretty decent side, but I think Chelsea will win both of them, and I think they'll win this 1-2 now.
Look, we literally said this after week 1 when every Chelsea fan's like, we're shit at football, we can't beat Sevilla, blah, blah, blah. That draw was perfect. They pound 4 goals past Krasnodar. They're going to come to Rennes, they're going to put 3 past them and not concede, and they're going to sit pretty on the top of the group on goal difference.
Chelsea, though, defensively, that's 3 clean sheets in a row now.
Yeah, they look significantly better. They look so much better with Mendy at the back. It is doing them wonders that when they do make a mistake, there's a goalkeeper that can bail them out. I think literally all year, it's like Zuma makes 1 mistake, and it
not
just
even
goes
when they
in.
make a mistake. Even when they just do a routine back pass, they've got someone that's not going to trip over their own feet.
Or, when someone shoots from 30 yards, it's going right at him, and somehow Kepa manages to, starts directly with the ball coming at him, then moves his entire body over here, and then jumps past it as it comes in. Thank God he's not in goal for them anymore.
Club Brugge versus Borussia Dortmund.
I called this. Dortmund just don't look good this year. They look fucking boring. They beat Zenit 2-0, but in general, they haven't looked that fantastic.
What have you called them?
Good, the fact that they weren't top of the group right now and that they're not even qualifying for the next round yet.
Okay.
I think Club Brugge are going to win this game. No, I don't. I think Club Brugge are going to draw this game. They drew 1-0 with Lazio, and I think they're going to draw 1-0 here with Dortmund.
No. Dortmund have just got that one magic factor, and that is Haaland, and he is a beast of a striker and scores every time, and he will be the difference maker in this one. I think Club Brugge are a really good side, and they will make it a tough game, but I just think Dortmund will win 2-1.
Zenit St. Petersburg versus Lazio.
I know Zenit go into this one with 2 defeats, and they look like the weakest side in the group. But this Lazio side is absolutely threadbare with injuries. They can barely get an 11 together. They're really lucky to get a 1-1 draw against Bruges. Bruges dominated them for most of that game. And I think that this one might be one where Zenit gets something.
I'm just saying, Ian, Lazio are now 12th in the table in Italy. They are having a very bad year. Not as bad as Marseille, but pretty bad. And we always talk about how clubs don't like to go to Russia. I think Zenit are going to get a win. I think they're going to beat this Lazio side 2-0.
Yeah, I think that's like what turns the group on its head. And I think that obviously I think Dortmund will be in first place at the end of this round because I think Zenit will win as well. I think it'll be a 2-0 win for Zenit. Barcelona versus Dynamo Kiev.
I don't even want to talk about the Barcelona game, so I'll reference the fact that Dynamo Kiev drew in Hungary 2-2, and that they were actually 2-0 down, but they came back from that. Ian, talk about Barcelona.
Well, they are saving their best performances for the Champions League. It looks like they haven't been great in La Liga, but they put in they actually did look really good against Juve and beat them, and I'd say deservedly beat them, but they played well, and Messi played well as well. And in the end, they won 2-0, and it's pretty business as usual at this stage for Barca. This will be 3 wins out of 3 and virtually qualified. 3-0 Barcelona.
Yeah, I'm going to match the score 3-0, and I'm really going to talk about Josep Bartomeu, or whatever the hell his name is, stepping down whilst also stating that they'd signed agreements to join the European Super League, and state that you, sir, are a giant asshole. Your team are a bunch of assholes, and I just don't like you. I just don't care. I specifically don't like him, though. FTC versus Juventus.
You're getting a little bit closer to my microphone here, Tom, so you can hear this. Is Ronaldo a coward?
Oh my god, get out. Get out. He's just today been cleared to play again. We know he'll be playing in the Champions League in that case. They're definitely going to win this game. They're going to be furious at the situation. They're going to be angry. Obviously, FTC got a 2-2 draw. Juventus to win 3-0 with Ronaldo getting 2 and Dybala getting 1.
Well, I mean, how unlucky Juventus were with 3 disallowed goals. Ridiculous. FTC, really good comeback, great for them. Obviously, not often they play in the Champions League, so it was awesome for them to get something out of the game against Dynamo Kiev. It's probably going to be one of the only games they get any points from. But they've still given themselves a bit of hope that they might finish 3rd place in this group now. I think Juventus will win, although I'm still disgusted by the lily-livered and yellow streak running down Ronaldo's back. It's really pissed me off. But they'll win 2-0. RB Leipzig versus Paris Saint-Germain.
So it's one team that just laid over and let Man United kick the absolute hell out of them versus another team that just couldn't get it up when they needed to. Pathetic play from both of them. They've both been beaten by Man United strongly. PSG managed to beat Istanbul 2-0, and Moise Kean got a pair of goals. But that's what happens when Mbappe is still stuck in Aaron Wan-Bissaka's pocket. RB Leipzig were absolutely hammered, and not only were they hammered, their manager then even lost his cool because God knows what that 3-piece suit was, but everyone was commenting on it. I mean, when he came out, he's like, I'm not a fashion icon, I'm a football manager. I feel like a lot of reporters like, then why are you wearing that?
Yeah.
Did you not look in the mirror pre-match and go, if you lose, that's what they're going to be talking about? I think RB Leipzig are going to win this game, though. I think it's going to mess up the group because I didn't think PSG were that great about it against Istanbul, and I think Leipzig are going to win this game 2-1.
Yeah, PSG have been struggling. They did not look good in this game at all against Istanbul, and it was really like a Moyes Roy Keane double act that really bailed them out. RB Leipzig, I don't think I've ever seen them get as badly beaten as that.
I mean, I said to you that they have this weird fallibility thing, and we saw it a lot at the end of last season, where they'd be they would just all of a sudden be playing fantastic football and be unable to score, and then concede a goal out of nowhere. Now, we haven't seen them concede 5.
That's what I was going to say. They were really soundly beaten in this game. That's so unusual for RB.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's just something about RB Leipzig that every now and then they have to throw a random loss or draw in, and they've done that. They've thrown their random loss in, so...
Yeah, I know. It was just I just think their random loss is usually 2-1, not 5-0. So that would have hurt them. But this one should be a good game, and I hope so. And I really want Leipzig to win this, and so I'm going to back them too. Come on, East Germany's finest. Beat where's Paris?
Greece.
Come on, beat Greece's not finest. 3-1 to the Red Bulls.
Just out of interest, I'm pretty sure that the next outfit Nagelsmann wears will be front page news around the world after that performance
We
he gave.
need a bit of light relief. It's not been a good
We do. We need some humor.
Still got a lot of games to go, but it's the last one in the Champions League. So technically, although not technically, but technically, it's kind of, but not kind of, something like a main event.
Istanbul, Basaksehir versus Man United. It's like I went halfway. I
saw Tom's brain melt in front of him then as he was trying to read that name. It's pronounced Man United, you idiot.
Oh, sorry. This the only time it's been worse is when you told me I had to come up with Halloween themed names 2 weeks before Halloween, and I just failed miserably.
Well, I did throw you under the bus a little bit there. Thomas, it's unquestionable, it's undoubtable, you cannot deny the facts. Manchester United are back in their rightful place, and that is kings of Europe, soon to be kings of the world. And to tell us more about it is our resident expert Manchester United fan, Thomas Pickering.
This is 2 straight weeks in a row where Man United have looked like European royalty, and then they've gone back to the Premier League, and you're like, eh. But there's something about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like he's slowly becoming a cup manager. The way he sets out, the ability to the one tactic his teams do seem to have is to counterattack. It's the only thing that we seem to be very good at, and getting Rashford on the ball. And they looked really good. I mean, it's a bit like when they beat PSG. I can't have any complaints. It looks really good. Who knew that if you let Donny van der Beek play football, he'd be good? Who knew if you let Paul Pogba play football further up the pitch, he'd be good? And it all kind of came good for Man United in this game. A little bit let down that Tellez has coronavirus because it looks like Luke Shaw is now just stuck back in at left back and we're playing 4 at the back. But it was a really good performance. It was really exciting. I think I'm only now going to watch Man United when they play in Europe. And this looked like a group that Man United could not possibly find a way out of when we first saw it. And now it looks like a group that no matter what, they'll at least qualify in the top 2 because they should. They should be able to beat this Istanbul side back-to-back and be at 12 points when they come back up against Leipzig and PSG, who are going to spend the next couple of weeks just punching each other over and over again.
I thought you were going to say they should win the Champions League. Yeah, I agree with you totally. They've pretty much done the groundwork now of getting through. They can even afford a win and a draw and that'll get them 10 points. And you're pretty much there then, I would say, when you get the 10-point mark. Istanbul haven't been that great, haven't been that impressive at all. Again, they look a little bit overawed of being at this level. And I think Man United will beat them, and no question. I think Man United will win 3-0.
I didn't give a score prediction, but 7-0 Man United.
Oh, I love it. He's back.
I've been drinking, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, you thought it was the end, but it's not the end. Time for Europa League speed round.
Ludogorets Razgrad versus Spurs.
Let's put it in perspective. Spurs lost 1-0 to Royal Antwerp. I just want to say this one thing quickly, because obviously I do have family living in the Antwerp region. Absolutely fantastic result for them. They were so good. They battled so hard. They literally every player, bodies on the line sort of stuff to get that one mark. Yeah. That win they'll have forever. They'll always have that. We beat Spurs 1-0 in our own patch. Wonderful result. Wonderful goal they scored as well. Spurs' backup looks pretty weak though, Tom.
Yeah, no, they. I mean, I can't believe I'm going to talk about a UEFA Cup match. I swore to never do this, but they looked
very long.
No, but they looked bad. It does look like what's his face, Dele Alli's time at Spurs might have come and gone now. He was. They were all really poor, to be fair. The fact that Mourinho came out and said he'd sub out all 11. The one thing we have to say here is, isn't this Mourinho? Like, this is where it starts to slowly turn. He's had the honeymoon period. Everything's going great, and then all of a sudden, he comes out and insults like 18 people in a row without even thinking, and then posts a pic of like Instagrams instantly after the game being like, I'll see you all at 11 o'clock for training, and you're like, also, just throwing it out there, Ollie, maybe you should have tried that after we got fucking battered 6-1.
If Ollie tried that, the players just wouldn't show up. There's no point. He knows better. Right. Anyway, but obviously, Ludogorets, they lost 4-3 to Lask, so that tells you pretty much all you need to know. Spurs will win this game. They will get a response. Spurs will win 3-0.
I think it'll be 2-0 just because the amount of travel they're going to have to do. 2-0. Okay.
Leicester City, Sporting Braga.
Leicester beat AEK Athens 2-1, which means they have 2 wins out of 2. Sporting Braga have also won 2 of 2. Leicester looked really good this year, again, and I think the UEFA Cup is where they should be. So Leicester to win. 3-1.
Yeah, I think Leicester will make it 3 wins out of 3. This is the hardest side they play in their group, but they'll be too good for Braga, I think, even though they've got some injury problems themselves, haven't they, Leicester? And
Vardy's back, though. As long as Vardy's back, this Leicester team looks freaking unbeatable again.
Yeah, not an easy game. It wasn't an easy game against Athens, but I think Leicester will win 2-1.
Benfica versus Rangers.
Rangers done really well. That's 2 wins in a row for them. So they've had a perfect start to the group. This is by far the hardest game, though. You cannot see them getting anything out of this Benfica side, who've also won 2 out of 2. This will be a bridge too far for Rangers, and they'll lose 3-1.
I'm out. Benfica to win 3-0. Get out. Leave, Stephen.
Glasgow Celtic, Sparta Prague.
Okay, I don't even need to know what the results were for any of this. Celtic are a football club from London? From Scotland. They're going to lose. Sparta Prague to win away from home. 2-1.
Maybe you do need me to tell you quickly. Yeah, so Celtic blew a 2-0 lead, choked again in Europe, leading 2-0 to draw 2-2 with Lille. They just cannot win away from home.
She's a lovely girl, though.
If they can't beat Sparta Prague, they don't deserve to be in the Europa League, who lost 3-0 to AC Milan. So 3-0 Celtic.
Arsenal versus Molde.
So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's past, present and future come up against Arsenal. Routine win for the Gooners against Dundalk, 3-0. They love to try and paint it out to be something more than it was, which is a very routine win. Molde have also won 2 out of 2, but Arsenal will win. Arsenal will win 3-0.
Arsenal will win 3-0, and let me just state now, clearly they're the kings of Europe, the kings of England. They are the greatest side to ever play football after their 3-0 victory.
I'm not having it. Man United are the kings of Europe. Arsenal can only be the queen. Take us home, Thomas. Take us home.
Thank you to everyone who's liked, commented, and subscribed. Thank you for all the support we've received. These are one of the few videos that we can actually see the previous round before we record it. So there's, been at least 30 seconds thought that's been put into every result. Please have a look below at our Amazon affiliate links if you're in the UK. Have a look below for Grandstand Betters. They're a fantastic tipster website. They do really good work. Have a click below for some charitable stuff that we're really big fans of. And in general, stay safe, be good. We hope you're not all in tier 3. Love yourself, and we'll see you soon.